The Bar Group, raising the bar in real estate. Your Lake Highlands, Lakewood, Preston Hollow pros. You can find them at thebargroup.com. Unparalleled customer service for your real estate needs. The Bar Group.
Coming through.
I got to tell you, when you turn 48, which I did, you just kind of start thinking about things. I got a 14-year-old and 12-year-old boy, two boys, and my wife and I have been together for, 80 years, I think. I guess it's 19 in August. But, it takes a lot for me to get excited as I get older. And this one guest coming on is amazing. As usual, I mess up names, clubs, ADHD's for real. And my man here, I think I called him by the wrong name when I first talked to him. It might have been Rick, one of these guys, but they're amazing guys, and they have a very, very massive passion for pickleball, and they're all amazing athletes themselves. But this guy coming on, I have to tell you, his name is Mark Milner, and I have to tell you, he'll tell you where he's calling from. But he's got good news for us experienced people in life like me, and to go along with the MLP. But Mark, man, you just come on and start talking, brother. What's happening?
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, bro. Honored to be part of your show, coming from kind of north central Washington State.
What?
It's cold. It's got snow out here, but the cool thing about what pickleball's done in my life is I get to escape the snow and get out to great parts of the country where it's kind of warm. So, totally stoked to talk with you.
What's that shirt say you got on right there, man? What does it say?
It says MM Pickleball. So I just I sold my athletic club of 27 years this last month, and just kind of dive in full force into pickleball, which is giving me more the opportunity to kind of teach camps and travel and play tournaments and have time to talk with cool people like you during the day now.
All right. Now, obviously, his IQ's kind of dropping up there in Washington because I mean, he's being nice to me. So did somebody pay you to do that? Is that true? I'm just kidding.
Checks in the mail, right?
It's like 38 degrees down here with the wind chill, man. And us Texans, we're in the armpit of the world. That's what I was told before I moved here from St. Louis back in middle school to high school. But, well, that's great, man. That's the passion that you have that I have, obviously. Here in Dallas, and I love the story you told. You texted me in such great fashion that I stopped down and read it like 5 or 6 times, which that's a long time for me. You know what I mean? And so, hold off on that conversation, Eminem.
Okay.
But let's just start with when did you get into pickleball and how and all that fun stuff, right?
Well, the cool thing about how I got started is it's a kid. I've taught tennis and played tennis kind of my whole life, but I say a kid. He's in his 30s now. But about 6-7 years ago, I called up my buddy Tyson McGuffin, and he was
dear God. Now he's name dropping.
And he was a tennis pro at a club in Eastern Washington in Yakima.
So nervous right now.
And he said, hey, I need a room to stay. I got this little USTA mixed match, and can I stay with you? And I didn't know. I mean, Tyson, he's ADD, man. He's just always full of energy. What you see him on the court, exactly off the court.
We're gonna
it's
get
awesome.
along just well.
Oh yeah, he is incredible. And so I stayed at his house, and he could not stop talking about pickleball. And here he is. He's a tennis pro at this nice club there. And I'm trying to get ready for my tennis match. And, he's keeping me up just talking about pickleball. Mm-hmm. And crazy thing is I just put in this big investment into my own little community of this fabric structure to enclose 2 tennis courts. And the thing was, it was struggling right after the get-go. I just couldn't get people that come out and play tennis. And as much as I love tennis, it just wasn't getting the numbers. I didn't tell him at the time because I just was plugging along, but he planted the seed, and as soon as I came back, I said, fine, I know this pickleball is probably for old people, but I'll just put some lines down and utilize it when tennis isn't going. That was my approach. And honestly, within a couple times of playing, I'm going, okay, this is kind of fun. And then I called Tyson back and said, hey, when's your next tournament? And then honestly, it just took off from there. And so I stayed in touch with him in other years. I show up at a Vegas tournament. He didn't know I was going to be there. Nice. He was so jacked to see that I was playing in it. He was scheduled to go on to his match, but he's over there cheering me on in my match before he's playing his pro match. And
that's great.
I was playing Austin last year, and I told him, I said, hey, Tyson, I'm going to be selling my club. I just want to get more into pickleball. And he just created some opportunities that I could go coach his camps at Tyson McGuffin signature camps. And so I got into some of the camps, which now allow me to make travels a little easier. And so, you live this life long enough, it goes just full circle, man. Here's a kid, it was 10. I taught him tennis. I told him quit running around his backhand. He's going to have to develop.
No kidding.
And I'm so glad he never listened to me. So he is just taken off. And so I've been able to, so I go down to Mesa on Sunday night to teach in this camp. Again, he's not going to be there, but his main man, Kyle McKenzie, will be. And I'm just living the dream right now. And, lo and behold, I'm on your show. So life is good.
All right, let me get this. We're going to recap for a second. Not recap, but recrap. So you're trying to tell me you taught Tyson McGuffin as a junior, and he worked at a country club. Was it your country club?
No, it's about 4 hours south of me where I live.
It doesn't matter, man. You taught that amazing pickleball player, and then you call him and you tell him that you had to do a USTA match or something like that. What happened there? Okay, so he's a tennis pro 7 years ago, and he's just starting to play pickleball. And he's doing both. He's being a teaching tennis pro, but he's playing pickleball whenever he can. Wow. And he was just so fired up about the sport. He told me about pickleball, and I just, didn't really think much of it. And so he planted a seed for me. And you took it all, man. That's great.
Yep. He planted the seed, and I went home and it's like, okay, tennis isn't really making it for me right here. I'm going to have to try to supplement it. Just thinking of supplementing it. But now I'm it's just, he's the big part of the reason.
You did it. What's funny is that when I've had some guests on here and we started this a while back, it was always like I was told that, because I've bounced around. 2018, I was at Royal Oaks. We began it there. That's a very nice club. And then I left there at the pandemic and just took it a whole new level and decided not to go back and opted to do some, Del Webb stuff, different 55-plus communities. My in-laws actually got my first job pickleball outside of Royal Oaks, because they live in a community like that. Did those for a while, and then I started floating around here in Dallas, different, very affluential type neighborhoods with HOAs, and that's another battle. And then I got another amazing place called T-Bar and Racket Club. I was there for almost 2 years, and they had an amazing staff. And they got bought, and that was another. I've just decided to move on because it was had its own path, right? And so now I'm in another situation where things aren't, the value's not seen yet here in our Fairburg, but it's starting to get there. So I do battles every day, and I love it to see you that you just said, F it, man. I'm selling this thing. I'm moving on. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. And so I just love hearing that stuff. And when I started, it's called a amenity sport. That's what they called it.
You're right.
And I laughed in their faces. I said, I'm going to make it massive here and show you wrong. So that's awesome. So, man, golly, dude, I'm going to get you. Can I get a picture with you?
And it's interesting hearing from Tyson's perspective, how many people were boohooing his time of, calling him out. It's not going to work out, boohooing pickleball. And now look at him and all those naysayers, and there's it's like, say what you want, about it, but you got to really stop boo-hooing it, because it's freaking legit.
It's
and
like
it's exploding. And so now if you're boo-hooing it, you are just showing that your head's buried in the sand, and you still think it's 1985.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got some good one-isms that I've learned from my old man, and one or two amazing coaches, one in college. And I wasn't doing good. I didn't win a single match my freshman first semester of college, and I was so scared. So Coach Blair brought me in the office. I'm like, oh God, this office is so massive. It wasn't massive. It was like the size of a fucking closet. And so I'm like nervous, and I sit down. I'm like, all right, it's time. I swear I'll get my grades up. I've been practicing every day, Coach. I swear I'm not partying. He goes, Curtis, here's the deal. I see you putting all the time in, but you're not winning. And I said, I know, Coach. And he goes, well, what you need to start doing is begin with the end in mind. And the art's where you start. And then next semester it was, and I love seeing anybody, any sport, any walk of life, like my wife's job. I love seeing people flourish when they're down. I was taught, you don't want to see people when they're winning. You want to see them when they're losing, right?
Interesting.
And the old saying is, I can hardly see you. I can hardly hear you through what I'm seeing. That's the naysayers of pickleball. I can hardly hear you through what I'm seeing. And I mean, it sticks with me every day. I hear stories like what you're saying. It's like, come on now, let's just all work together. I'm not the type of person to say, see, I told you so. I'm not like that. But anyway, Let's go back to the most important part, which is talk to us about, do you have a certain type of paddle or anything like that you like, or brand, or how's that work with you, Mark?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've been told that a really good friend of mine who
this is all objective, by the way. It's not biased.
He says I change paddles more than he changes underwear or something like that. So I have been in and out of changing different paddles and trying to get something that's going to work for me. And quite honestly, I mean, you've seen what the sport's just done, but so it's technology. And so I'm just like, sure, I'll use this paddle. And okay. I get a few paddles, sure. And I'm kind of like, hey, I'm just starting off, and anything that I can get to kind of support me, I'm jumping on. So I can't really say.
It's all right, man. Totally, hey, it's okay. It's okay. I get it. I like to change the underwear thing. That's pretty funny. I'm like a lot of guys I'm still trying to get into full-time doing pickleball. I'm still doing different various homeowners, nice places. But, it just depends on with me, just what's in my bag sometimes. So I respect that. There's no right or wrong answer to what type of paddle to use. So what about you? We touched on this a little bit ago about your singles or doubles or mixed. What do you think about that?
Geez. Honestly, all three are a beast of itself, by itself. It's just, I came into the sport obviously with the tennis background, and I love the 20-foot wide pickleball court because I can take one or two steps and cover it. You look like a
big man. I got to tell you right now, you look like you're pretty tall. I'm only 6'1".
Okay, I got about an inch and a half on you. So, I got a good first step, but tennis, it was just too big of a court. But singles, I really enjoyed the singles. Came on not really knowing about the senior pro. And I was using a tournament just to get ready for nationals, because I qualified for the 4-5 singles and nationals, kind of first year of really playing tournaments. And then I joined the Hyundai Classic there in La Quinta, and all of a sudden I was like, I'll just do senior pro because next month is nationals and I'll just get ready for it. Well,
what the hell, why not?
It was like, why not? And I made it the podium, and and Matthias and Paul Olin were gold and silver, and I didn't really know these guys, but honestly, it's guys like those two that have just encouraged me to keep playing. Those guys are phenomenal for the sport. Matthias and Paul, they're two of the best dudes out there, and they just kept telling me, and it's unlike any other sport I've been in. I mean, here are these guys that I'm grinding them, I'm competition with, and they're the ones that just encourage me. It's like, hey, you got the shots, Mark. You just got the shots. You're going to get there. I'm still waiting to get there. But
Shit, whatever, man. That's hey, tell our viewers and future pickleball and current pickleball professionals and players and awesome your fans listen to the show. Confirm who those names are for us.
Oh, Matthias Johansson is the number one ranked senior pro players out of Huntington Beach, California. Paul Olin's out of Maryland. These two have just dominated the tour the last couple of years. Wow. And so Matthias is also a college tennis coach. And so, Matthias is playing right now in Mesa, dominating it again.
What's his last name? Matthias. What's Matthias's last name? I'm sorry.
Johansson.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And now with kind of, so you asked about singles and mixed and doubles. Mm-hmm. So I obviously gravitated really well in the singles, but if you know much about pickleball doubles, you got to dink, mm-hmm. You got to reset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got to hit the ball kind of slow sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's, hey, the journey's been real. Yeah. The journey has been real.
I broke the brakes on my car, on my pickleball game.
Yes. It was like when you add another guy on the court there, you just can't find any gaps. And so everything hard doesn't work. So, but I got to tell you, mix now, all of a sudden, you can throw in a mix, and the gals know that, hey, they want a singles kind of mentality guy to kind of cover the kind of the court and leave their sweet spot open. Maybe that's their forehand or something. So, so mix is a different animal in itself, because and then you go into men's. And if you get a good partner, hey, is like you got a little different role in the men's compared to mix, and it's obviously way different of a beast than singles. So all three are different, but it's all three are just incredible. They're awesome, and when I've got a few good wins in kind of each of those now, I'm just digging it. And the hardest thing now is like, what do I focus on? There's only so much part of the day. It's like, okay, if I'm going to drill and work on my doubles game, my singles game is I can't neglect it. But the other thing is I'm learning. I'm 53. I'll be 54 this year. And there's just constantly newer guys, 49-year-olds that turned 50 this year are in there. Mm-hmm. And so I know this is a little window that I've been enjoying the success in the singles. I better start working on my doubles game. So that's what I've been focusing on.
Well, it's you're very meticulous. I love it. With regards to stuff like that, when you get that point, which maybe once or twice in my junior college career, you get to the point where you gotta go back to basics and get some tape going, and that's what typically people do when they attack stuff like that. I'm sure you're already well versed in doing stuff like that, but what's the atmosphere at the club with all of you? What's going on? I mean, what's it like? How's it going where you're at? And tell us what club you're at again and all that.
Well, I still train at my former club at North Cascades Athletic Club in Omak, Washington, a community of about 5,000 people. Nice. Out in the middle of nowhere. Actually, when I trained before COVID, I'm an hour's drive away from the Canadian border. So I'd go up there. Wow. And COVID came and shut down the border. And so then found a friend with his own plane. So then we flew to states that were more pickleball friendly during COVID.
Flew on a private plane to go play pickleball? Oh my God.
Dude, honestly.
Whatever, dude.
that have open. I'm just this grunt guy. Wow. And sometimes I get away with, charming people, but I'm like,
you're awesome.
Hey, there's a tournament in Vegas. You want to go?
We could take your plane too. Isn't that awesome? Because my brother-in-law has a plane too, and that shit is not. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it is. I constantly just keep running into this sport. I mean, they say it's inclusive for all. You're finding all types of people, different status economically, different status, just different people, different ages. And here's the crazy thing is I come and I'm getting success in the singles and I'm playing doubles and I look across the net and here's two guys that are 10 years older than me. I'm this workout phenomenal guy, phenom guy that loves CrossFit and loves to just be intense. And I'm looking at these two guys going, oh, no problem.
You can't do that in sport now. Come on, you know that.
And that was my first kind of.
Come's gonna kick you in the nuts.
These guys just hammered me, and I felt like, are you freaking kidding me? I just these guys could hardly move one step to the right or left. And every time I sped up on them, it just they just baited me. They just kind of purposely kind of got a ball bounce. And so I would just do my single shot. And that thing came back faster at me. And I didn't know what to do with the ball. So
that's what I love
about this sport. Honestly, pickleball, it humbles you. It's going to humble you. You're going to have some ugly losses, but occasionally you get some good wins too.
Those good ones are the reason why we deal with the bad ones, right?
Exactly.
So, of all your endeavors in the sport that you'd like to discuss, what's your current focus with regards to pickleball?
Well, honestly, breaking news every day with my pickleball career. But I just the MPL with Rick Witskin and Beth Bellany, Michael. Mike Chen and Tom DiCaprio started this MPL that's really just trying to make some love for the 50-plus-year-old pros in pickleball.
So can you tell us what the MPL stands for our listeners and all that?
Okay, so it's the National Pickleball League, and they have a website that really just breaks it down more. It's mplpickleball.com.
Nice.
But basically, the MPL is founded just this last year. They already have $100,000 in prize money for these 5 weekend events. So it's basically the Major League Pickleball team aspect that they're using for the senior pros or champion pros this year. The senior pros are now called champion pros.
Yeah.
So the slogan is by champion pros for champion pros. So, hey, we're not going to live in the curtails of the regular pros. It's great to go to these tournaments and watch the Tyson McGuffins and Ben Johns, but hey, let's get treated who we are as senior pros, champion pros, and that's what we're doing. We're the Chicken and Pickle has just embraced us. We've got 5 weekends set up this year. The summer and fall for the senior pros.
And you are coming to Texas, right, sir?
We are coming to Texas 3 times. That's tough for this Washington boy, but
yes.
I'm finding more and more love in Texas.
Maybe I'm right here. I'm in Dallas. I'm here. I love you, man. I love all you pickleball players.
Okay.
I'm serious, man. I deal with shit all the time. Sorry.
I'm coming June 3rd to Grapevine there,
Chicken
Texas.
and Pickle.
So. Yeah, so the MPL is just, honestly, that was a missing piece for us old guys, is that, hey, we want to relive this team atmosphere. So we come from college tennis, high school tennis, or USTA tennis teams, and we play in these teams. And now we got this started for us, and we got some money on the line. So it's bringing up the best players.
So awesome what you did. Sorry, man. Sorry, Ted, I'm talking too close. That's exciting. I'm so excited because you're kind of like what other sports do. Golf does it. NBA does it. I don't know if, unfortunately, no disrespect to this sport, NFL will be able to do it. Maybe something with flag football as you get older. But the older people that help build the sport and you're like the legends in tennis. They still have that came through Dallas or Frisco back in the late 2000s before the crash. I mean, it's awesome, and a lot of people want to see that, and I applaud it, man. I'm so happy to hear that. Keep going. I'm sorry, Mike.
Okay.
Mark.
No, I'm so stoked too, just to get the opportunity to talk about it, and I'm not. The draft hasn't happened yet, so we have some team owners that are going to draft us into 6 different teams, and that's coming in April.
Well, I want to know when that is and all that, and dates and all that. Good. We're going to cover that. That'll be fun.
It's scheduled for either April 9th or April 14th is the draft date.
Okay. Well, we're going to cover some of that.
Man, I'll be sitting in there like around my kids and,
Well, that's awesome.
Like NFL draft, I'll be, surrounded with anyone, just my 12 and 10-year-old, I'm sure, for like 5 minutes.
No.
But anyway, I'm just like this new life, this new chance, that we get through pickleball. It's phenomenal. Great. And so I can't wait to be a team member. I don't care where they throw me in the lineup. If they got me as water boy to start with, I don't care. I just am so jacked to be a part of the MPL. I think it's a brilliant move of what these guys have done. It's just going to explode like Major League Pickleball has. How exciting it is to watch them do it. The Dream Breaker. Are you familiar with that?
I do not know. Talk to me about that, please, sir.
Okay, so the Major League Pickleball with the top pros, they do men's doubles and mixed doubles, and so there's 4 people on the team. So anyway, it can be tied. It can be 2 matches apiece with a different team. So what they do they call it a Dream Breaker.
A Dream Breaker.
Dream Breaker, and they place a game to 21 and play a singles. And so sometimes you got, and it just kind of matches up where they're playing and you got these women players playing against the men players and beating them at times.
Awesome. It's like UTR and all that. It's great.
It's just so entertaining. And they've nailed it on this team aspect. So it's really cool to see the MPL that's for champion pros, that we're gonna start something like that, and it's coming soon. So
I know it is, man. That's great. God,
I'm just pumped, man. I'm
so excited. I can't wait. What's gonna be fun is to actually see you guys in person when you guys come here to Dallas. And anyway, cool. That's, man. You guys really have great stories. It's awesome to have that. So what's your favorite story to tell about pickleball, or your favorite place to play?
Well, the story is, with my full circle with Tyson McGuffin. And that's hard to beat. But honestly, the experience that I got to do was he had a camp in his backyard in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And it's, a couple hour drive from me. And I got to go train with the guy, with couple of his other staff members, and we played at Selkirk's kind of a corporate office. And they put 1 court in there, and just that time to because I never got to play. I played pickleball with Tyson before. He's watched me. We talked, but actually get to train him and see what that top level's like. I still think I have a welt on my chest, or it's the time to heal.
It's like a tattoo that's like embedded right there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it still hurts too.
That was kind of the thrill for me, is to have that experience. And then he asked me to go on to his podcast, the Tyson McGuffin Show. Nice, and episode 39.
Everybody hear that? Everybody hear that?
You can't fall asleep and you want to listen to that one.
No way, man.
Kind of hear the full story of Tyson and I. So that weekend of teaching a camp with them, training with them, and doing a podcast, I don't know if that can ever be topped. That was freaking unbelievable.
I'll say for now. How's that sound? We leave it open for now.
Right. Hey, this show isn't done yet, so this could be my new top memory. So,
well, stop you. That'd be awesome. But it's not. Probably a different tier, like of 1 to 10, 10th tier, 1 being the Tyson. So, what's your favorite shot?
I absolutely love the ATP.
Around the post, people.
Around the post, buddy. And I had to learn early on as a tennis player not to hit those sharp angles. They work great in tennis, but in pickleball, they come back and bite you. So I have, in all the times I play rec, or tournaments, even if the ball's out and it's going around, I never waste an opportunity to practice an ATP.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had several game match points finished with an ATP. There's just, like football, you have a really good play in football, you score 6 points. It's too bad in pickleball, they don't give you like 2 points for an ATP instead of just one.
Come on, you and I both know they're probably had something like that in a couple of years. Because aren't they supposed to be going to rally scoring next year, 2024?
Yeah. I don't know. I got mixed feelings on that. How much are we going to keep changing the sport? To the other thing that some of the big organizations are doing, they're not even letting you come back through the back draw to get gold. It's like they're changing that. So it's like, I at times they're changing, they're messing with the game too much, but I don't know.
You guys have autonomy with your own league one day, won't you?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, that's how it was with when these tours were merging 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite drill or teaching point? What's your favorite thing to do when you teach or do a drill? What do you like the most?
I'm actually the drills now. It gets frustrating for me to just go play rec play.
Mm-hmm.
I never was much of a drilling guy, but then I realized, hey, I'm playing rec play, but I'm never seeing a ball.
Mm-hmm.
No one will hit me a ball. And I got tired of whining about it. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just going to drill.
Yeah.
And I'm just competitive. I'll keep score on anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, we're going to drill from the kitchen. We're going to keep score. And doing one-on-one straight ahead or cross, keeping score. And honestly, I drill with 3, 5, 4, 0 players, and it works great. It absolutely works great. This sport is unlike no other. I couldn't train in tennis with someone who's 2 levels below me, but I can train great in someone who's and find that work well for me. So I like drilling that way.
This guy's good. I mean, just looking at you, if you make me want to do like 500 jumping jacks, I'd probably pass out if I did that. He's a pretty intense guy. I like it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, about you. Where'd you grow up, your family, brothers, sisters, mom, dad, all that stuff.
All right. Okay. So Eastern Washington and rural towns I've been all my life. So grew up on an apple orchard, pear orchard. My dad was a physical therapist. My mom was a school nurse. And I have 3 brothers. I'm in the middle of 2 older brothers, 1 younger. My younger brother played Division I football at Iowa State. My 2 older brothers, always kept me in check because I was papa. But
I got an older brother and a younger brother, and a sister, mind you.
Yeah, and I'm one of the smaller guys in the family, so so we had some good genes.
There you go.
So, but. That's and my dad put a tennis court in ripped out some cherry trees and put a tennis court in when I was, 10, 12 years old. And, but he didn't know much about tennis, and he just saved the amount of trees. He put the court east and west. So the only time we could freaking play tennis was like high noon, because in the morning you're looking in the sun, or the evening, and it gets hot, Eastern Washington. So, God bless them. I got to have a tennis court as a kid growing up, but high noon was about the only time you could play and see the ball. You
had to battle the elements at a very early age. I love that.
Yeah, I still see sunspots.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, let's go on to our next segment, which is called In the Kitchen. What's your favorite band or song right now? Mine right now, I'm cranked up as an oldie. I've seen it Palooza, how many times? It was Soundgarden, Super Unknown, and just Fresh Tendrils and Fell on Black Days. I've been cranking that up. What have you been listening to?
Oh, it's just crazy. I'm more of a Sirius XM and turn it on and kind of gravitate to the 80s, Channel 8. Roadhouse. I do this live ball kind of drill with pickleball, and so we get some music going, and Roadhouse, road trip radio, kind of that's fun. Anything in the 80s or Journey, U2. I usually when Don't Stop Believing gets going, I find a different octave.
Exactly. Well, my older brother's similar to your age, and he loves all that stuff. He's always, so is my brother-in-law. He's like that too. So I can totally relate to that. So is there anything you like to watch, like binge watching right now? We've been watching on Hulu that military thing with all those famous actors and actresses. Special Forces. Have you heard about that?
No. See, and again,
it's all right. It's just
there's time I'm on media, and other times I'm not on there much. But I'm always a day late and a dollar short. So I think I'm on season 3 of Yellowstone.
That's a good one.
I tried to get my wife into it because she's totally an outdoor. And I said, hey, there's all these cool scenery of Yellowstone. We should really watch this. And I lost her early on. So.
Well, my wife and I watched stuff together. We watched that one, that Special Forces, which is pretty good. But we also watched that movie. It was a Ron Howard movie called Rebuilding Paradise. It's a pretty good little on Netflix. It talks about this thing burning in California. But all right, favorite sports team. Talk to me, bro. All of them.
Oh, hey, I'm a local fan. So honestly, I am a big Seahawk fan. Good. And if you look at me, you check out the
you look like Matt Hasselback, man. That's what you look like.
Dude, you got to see it. And so one of my best friends lives in Florida. We were at Washington State Coug, Sigma Nu fraternity brothers. Anyway, he's just killing it in the corporate world. We got tickets. He got tickets to Super Bowl 40 in Detroit, and the Seahawks' very first Super Bowl.
What?
Yeah, and that was Sean Alexander and Matt Hasselback and D-Jack. And so we're at the game. Actually, we're at the Super Bowl experience there, and I put on Hasselback's jersey, number 8, and I literally had people coming up to me asking for my autograph.
Did you give it to him?
That was Matt Hasselback.
Did you give it to him?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yes, I love it.
So it's midnight in Detroit before the game. I'm having a beer, and this mom and son come up to me and wishing me luck. And I'm like, if they want me to be Hasselback that bad, I'm like, I got to go along with it. Yeah. If they think Hasselback's going to be up at midnight drinking a beer out in the city, I'll go along with it. So, and then actually I got on Al Michaels and John Madden talking about Hasselback, and then they throw a clip up on me, and I had my, what was it? This is Super Bowl 40. So how many years ago was this? And I got on, and I remember before the game, the camera woman looked at me and I said, hey, I'm Hasselback. And she looked at me, and you know how they have the rolling cameras on the field, they put the players around. And so I was 10 rows back from the field on the 50-yard line. I just had these incredible tickets. And this camerawoman looks at me and looks at Hasselback's picture, looks at me again, and she says 6. And I'm like, what does 6 mean? The game doesn't start till 6:30. It's at 6 minutes. So I just stayed in my seat. Anyway, they dubbed me in. Al Michaels or John Madden was talking about Hasselback. And then they dubbed me in there, grabbing my own jersey of number 8, saying,
"Oh my gosh!" So you're probably going, "Hey, I was saying Hustle Shack. My name's Hustle Shack, not Hasselback. You guys are all crazy." It's Castleback.
So that was my one moment of fame, and that was the days before, I had flip phones, and I looked down at my phone and I had like 9 missed calls, and I'm like, I wonder if I just got on TV, and sure enough, I got on TV. So,
well, look, man, we'll tell about your pets real quick, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Tell us about your pets. Oh, I gotta know about this. I love pets. Doggies.
About what?
I love dogs. Pets. What's your favorite pets?
Oh yes, I've been a lab fan forever. Man, I tell you, I just had a 13-year-old yellow lab. We just had to put down last month, and I have a 10-year-old and 12-year-old daughters in the house. It's still, and gratefully, we kind of saw this coming a couple of years ago. This lab is amazing pet, and labs you can be, but we also got a Labrador, a golden doodle, and so Love that. Love that they don't shed like a
Yeah,
lab.
they're great dogs. We have a Labradoodle that we have.
Okay.
We have a
Yeah,
golden
you
doodle. We have a
can't
Labradoodle.
beat that, but I'm still to this day just can't not beat the lab. Man, are they a great pet? So, and great dog. But I think this golden doodle is going to keep growing on us. She's about 3, so we got that right now. So
Ours is.
I'm kind of into big dogs.
Yeah, you're a big man, dude. So sure your kids are going to be tall. Well, look, that's it, man. Well, I was going to tell you a story. We put our 17-year-old dog down last year, and that was tough, man. It was tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, look, how do people get in touch with you, or maybe want to work for you, or maybe go to one of your camps, or maybe want to interview you? I mean, how would somebody get in touch with you?
Well, I have markmilnerpickleball.com, and I just got this website up and going, so they can reach out to me with that. I'm on Facebook, Mark Milner. I'm on Instagram, Omak Mark Milner. I'm willing to travel and put on camps, and also if you guys are ever in town for its Tyson McGuffin signature camp, that is worth every penny. And it's just awesome to be part of that. So, man, I'd love to keep meeting people like you, Curtis, and what I've been, all these friends around the country. So anyone wants to reach out and have me do some clinics or do a camp.
Oh yeah,
I'm game, man.
Well, the good news is this is a total amazing opportunity that I have, but we're on all platforms. We're on Amazon, we're on Spotify, but we can be viewed, this actual video can be viewed on the Vocal Now app, or if you have this, I'm just saying this because I found this out like last week, we can also be seen on Apple TV. These shows can be seen, they're recorded and all that. But anyway, look, my name is Curtis Reese. I can be reached at Curtis, Curtis, at Reese Racket Sports, ReesRacketsports.com. That took forever. And that's it, man. So listen, this guy's amazing. And like all the other shows we have on this Vocal Now app, download it, check them out. If you're in a bad mood, we'll put you in a good mood with something we got on here. And just remember, ask the big guy, Mark Milner, or me, if there's ever anybody that is ever hesitating about playing pickleball, just grab them and say, come on, let's pickle. Mark, have a great week, man. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Hey, thank you, man.
And we'll talk again. Trust me.
Okay.
All right, take care.
Coming through.